I said some things as concerning family. I said some things as concerning music. I also spoke about um, what else? My relationship with the female gender, which was very interesting. And the thing is, my journey has been a journey of self-discovery and self-identity. I was one of the most confused human beings ever, as concerning purpose, as concerning life, as concerning what exactly I wanted to do, So in the journey of self-discovery, it's been an amazing experience having to go through mistakes that could have been avoided if I was guided. But apparently, I lived so much in unknown bitterness directed towards my parents that it affected me so much that I didn't know how bad it was until I traveled out of the country and I had to deal with life on my own. Having to pick up things, having to receive all those subtle insults from my peers. And I'm like, okay, guy, you don't know this one. And I was genuinely clueless about how to do life as a man, And the way culture paints it, like, there's this high expectation on being a man, especially in Africa, that it came from, right? Something, you're a man now, you're a man. You should understand how to be able to navigate your way around it. But in recent times, I became comfortable in not knowing what to do, like comfortable in being confused in a way, and being genuine about it, not trying to man up and like, okay, let me pose. I know how to navigate this way out, But God has been faithful, I must say, right, in that process. So I'll be doing this in 3 parts. I was speaking about music, I'll be speaking about family, I'll be speaking about life in general concerning me. So my name is Bernard Franklin. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a music producer, I'm a Christian, right? And as much as it sounds nice now, I hated what I'm doing right now. I started loving it, but after a lot of heartbreaks, if you're a musician, you might testify that sometimes it looks like the gift is not measuring up to the account. I don't know if you vibe with that. So you know that you're gifted, but it's not reading in your bank account. And people have this sense of entitlement when it comes to your gift. Right? Sense of entitlement when it comes to your gift. And you're gifted, but they just have this mindset that they want to take advantage of it. I don't know how. Maybe because of bad management, whatever it is. But in Africa here, I don't think we are really appreciated like that. Is it so? Because where I was in Ghana, oh, you're gifted, God bless you, and everything. How far now? What's happening? So I'm in a bus going somewhere. They've seen my face on TV, right? I'm on the radio, and I don't know that it's shame that I cannot afford some things, but there's this high expectation of, okay, you're known somehow, so you should be able to take care of yourself. And because of the unpreparedness that I had as concerning that stage of my career as a musician, I didn't know how to handle it, right? I've had series of, how do I put it, that, please, I hope I want to do this. It's hard to share these stories because some of them are kind of very sensitive. We are still not there yet when we think about them. The other time I was texting my dad, I said, can you just say I love you small? Try it. Try and say I love you, Father. Just try it. He was like, I'm like, I don't know. Say it. Say I love you. And he was trying to beat around the bush. It was so hard for him to say I love you, because in my formative stages of life, he wasn't really there, and I had to navigate being a man on my own, because my mom couldn't teach me, right? So I had situations where I dealt with identity a lot. Musically, I said a lot of things on YouTube, so you can check it, but I'm just trying to sieve it out just for those that didn't watch it, right? He's the one that introduced me to music, actually, because when I was born, he just bought Michael Jackson album at the time and just put it around the house. So my first exposure to anything was Thriller. So I started enjoying the fact that, okay, somebody like this existed, and I wanted to be like that person. And eventually, this same man that introduced me to music started fighting me for it. If you say that you're going to do music in this life, I will disown you. And at the time, music was the only thing that gave me a sense of significance and worth, right? Because it was like, okay, I'm gifted at this thing. I'm gifted at this thing. It makes sense to me that, this is the only thing I know, that if I'm in my element, I can express myself and not feel like I don't belong somewhere. And the people that exposed me to it at first started fighting me for it. Said, okay, we know you sing, but let it be recreation, let it be hobby, let it not be career. Go and find something else. My father told me that, that he wants one of his children to be a lawyer. And I looked at my twin sister. I said, who? Who is going to be a lawyer at this house? So we laughed, and you could see the anger in him. And I told him one time that I was going to do music full time. And he took me inside his room and I threatened that I will disown you if you try it. If you try that thing. Because maybe in those times it didn't look like there was money in the thing. Until the likes of whiskey that they just came and changed a lot of things. It looked like it was a profession for those that don't have a future in life. And all that, but now everybody wants, is either you're a footballer or you're a musician, you just enter inside and see. But apparently, the same person that exposed me to this thing that made me feel a sense of significance started fighting me for it. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand my dad for a long time, so I will always fight him. This is the same person that should be teaching me how to be a man, right? I should be learning what it means to be a father, be a man in circumstances. But like I said in the video, I was his first son, so he had not been a father until I was born. He was also learning fatherhood with me, right? And it comforted me later when I started thinking back, because I didn't understand I don't know how to deal with the female gender. I didn't know how to do it. And the man looked like he had a lot of things going on for him, because he would tell us stories how he was exploring things in his young age. How he would check from this, check from that, how he met my mom. So it looked like, okay, this man has game. My own turn, I was clueless, right, on how to approach the female. Like, I was clueless. I'm like, guy, the way you're looking at me, I can't even tell you that I'm liking somebody, because the next time I expect a slap. What are you doing liking somebody? You should be focused on your books, right? And it scarred me a lot, because for a long time, I imploded. I didn't know who to confide in or speak to or be vulnerable with that will not judge me. So when I started having problems with addictions, I didn't know who to open up to. I started reading. It was like that thing they call, is it skeleton in your, what do you call it? Skeleton in your cupboard or wardrobe. It was like, if anybody knows this thing, I'm finished. Like, because I started learning how to pretend, put up a face, like everything is okay. But apparently, I was dying inside. And there was nobody to open up to. So 2012, I met Christ, right? And it was a different experience entirely. It was so comforting for me that every day I was in church. It became like an idol. Because I will be there, I enjoy the atmosphere, nobody is judging me. You know, I'm not somewhere sitting at home waiting for my dad to come and start throwing tantrums, you know. Like, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? Others are in school studying engineering, studying amazing things. You, they say it's music you want to do. And I almost told him that, Shebi, you're the one that were giving me gist of how you were a DJ when you were young. You were giving me gist of how I embraced MJ and said, so why is it that this thing that I want to do, you're fighting against it, you know? Then eventually, I traveled out of the country. And then he fell sick. He broke down with diabetes. So bad that he couldn't talk. Of course, I was born again at the time and I started learning to forgive him. But I didn't see him for like 3 years. I didn't speak or see him for 3 years. And it was like all the things that I didn't notice started playing out in my head. And because I doubted my father's love a lot. If you're a young male in Nigeria, you know the importance of fatherhood in your life. It's not something that can be overemphasized. Having a father figure in your life, because I don't know, but in Nigeria it's like there is this outlook on fatherhood, like on being a man, that has been so played to us by culture that it looks like you have to be tough to be a man. There's this societal expectation from everyone being a man. Not forgetting that being a man, you're also human. Like when I saw my dad cry for the first time, it was foreign to me. I'm like, did they cry? Wow. I said now only Mopsy they cry. Oh. He cried so much because he was diagnosed with diabetes. And at the point, he now knew that, okay, this is now my reality. So all his money was trying to go towards being healthy so that he can be available and around for us so that we can be able to survive. But because he was not around a lot, I didn't really get his vibe. But when he started being around, okay, now you're here, let's now vibe. He became so separate from his emotions and started being engrossed in trying to live, so that because he had this feeling like I might die anytime soon. So instead of being around listening, he was very judgmental, he was pissed at his state. I didn't know, because you came across to me as judgmental, right? And everybody started separating from him because we didn't want that vibe. So I grew out of fatherhood and started learning fatherhood from society, which was wrong. I did a lot of things that could have been avoided if I was under mentorship, right? Started learning how to be compassionate. I did not get why a man can cry. It did not make sense to me. Why are you crying? Man up. What's that? You're saying you're emotional. You have feelings. You're a man. Hey, what's that? You know? But from 2012, when I started understanding God's fatherhood, I started getting comfortable in being emotional as a man. I started getting comfortable in being unsure of what path to take. I started getting comfortable in saying, I do not know. Rather than want to act a certain way so that you will not think that I don't know what's happening. I genuinely do not know. And if I try and front, I'll mess it up. Right? And there was this sense of peace because I started seeing my father through the eyes of Christ. That's when I began to understand that he had no clue on what it meant to be a father. And it was okay that he did not get it right. So instead of hate towards him, I felt so much compassion towards him. Like this man genuinely was clear, but he was trying to front because society has made it to such that you're a man of the house. You have to man up. You are clueless sometimes, right? I started seeing that he actually loved me, but he did not know how to express it. He felt like if he showed the human side or the soft side, I would lose it. So it was always 10, always 10. Then God had to trace through. He had to tell me, look at the patterns of your father. All the names that he called you, because in my head he verbally abused me. He called me plenty things. You know, he said I was very funny names that I can't even mention. And I started embracing it as identity. And I started acting like that. I was so lost in that wrong pattern of self. And I see some people now, they say that they have that, some ladies, my friends, they're like, they have daddy issues, like their father, while some other people, their father is their role model, and if you're not like their father, they won't even get close to you. So there's the extremists, and there's those that don't even know what it means to have a father in their life. And I started learning to give excuses for the man. Not because he was right or wrong, but because of my heart. For peace to reign here. Because there was no how I will be able to express love while carrying the baggages of the past that he has. What he did, the names he called me, the public disgrace. My father, here, like we are all here. I don't know what will enter him. He doesn't know public, private, nothing, no. If you do anything here, you are just straight. Everybody will know that he's yours. Everybody will know that you're his child. Foolish! Shout, call you things that even you yourself, you didn't even know that those things existed. And God started culturing me in his fatherhood from 2012. Started correcting what it meant to be a father to me. Understanding that I do not have a high priest that is not touched by my infirmities, that doesn't understand what it means to be weak, to be genuinely clueless on how to be able to navigate life. And it was okay to be vulnerable. Society makes it like, what are you doing? You're exposing yourself this much. It's part of being a human. It's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to not remain okay. It's not okay to stay that way. People have, especially social media, they've so cultured it in the sense that if you're vulnerable, it's like, what are you doing? There's this standard that social media has created that is a mirage. Everybody wants to look tough. Everybody wants to look at their best. That's not the reality every day. Right? So I started receiving corrections on what it meant to be a father in that process. Right? And I will continue in the next part, the other side to it. And I don't know whether I can do a song. Should I? Oh no. I won't. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to have answers. Yes. It's okay to be confused once in a while. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay not to be sure of the way forward, oh yeah. It's okay to make mistakes, oh yeah. Do not be fooled by what you see. Nobody get everything okay. Nobody has everything alright. It's okay, to say I'm not unsure of where to go. It's okay. Don't let what they say about you become who you are. They don't define you. You are not your mistakes, yes. You are not your past, yo. You are not your experiences, good or bad. You are who God says you are. And He loves you, oh yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So next up, like, how many of us can relate to the beginning of his story? I think some can. So next up, we have Peaches. Please clap for Peaches, guys. Like, I can't even hear anything. Like, it's not easy to come up here. It's like...
Our hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation help to sing. Please sing along. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the times. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the books. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? All I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Thank you. So the next song will be my song, Break Free by Peaches. You can stream the song maybe later. It's on iTunes, AudioMac. Oh, yes, I made mistakes, but they don't define me. I lost my shape, but I'm okay now. I've been bruised, bruised and abused. But one thing is for sure, I never gave up. I had this fighting spirit, looked forward and never looked back. The future is glaring, seemed like only me could see it. I had this fighting spirit, looked forward and never looked back. The future is glaring, seemed like only me could see it. I'll break free, 'cause my time is now. Won't let this burden get the best of me. I'll break free, 'cause my time is now. Yes, I have scars, shows that I tried. The only person cheering me up was me. Trials and tribulations, clouded imaginations, feeling the hurt and the pain. Almost gave up, but I pulled through. I had this fighting spirit, looked forward and never looked back. Future is glaring, seemed like only me could see it. I had this fighting spirit, looked forward and never looked back. The future is glaring, seemed like only me could see it. I'll break free, 'cause my time is now. Won't let this burden get the best of me. Oh, I'll break free, 'cause my time is now. I'm gonna be the best that I can be. I'll break free. Oh, I'll break free. I'm gonna break free. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I'll break free. Thank you.
Please, now you push stay for me now. I'm back. Good evening again. I can see some new faces have joined us. My name is Bernard Franklin. Thank you guys for coming. So, what do I say in this part? I'll be speaking about addictions and my struggles with them. So in the first part, I spoke about my relationship with my father and how God corrected that by teaching me his type of fatherhood and what it meant to be a father. Right? So, along the line in my life, I picked up a very bad habit, and at a very young age. So aside music giving me a sense of worth, significance, and pleasure, I had found that in something else, right? And I recently started getting comfortable speaking about this, I think last year or last 2 years. Because there's this stigma that I don't know where it came from, right? That, please don't be vulnerable. Don't try it. People will judge you if you're being yourself. But understanding that my definition is not in things or people. My definition is rooted and grounded in someone that created me. And that how he sees me is how I truly am. It gave me peace that no matter what I'm facing currently, that's not who I am. It's inconsistent with how he sees me, right? So, I picked up a bad habit at age 6. At age 6 to age 16, I struggled with addiction, right? Addiction to porn and the rest, everything that it births. And the thing with addiction is, you do not know that something is taking over you that shouldn't be so. And it feels like there's no way out. So some people have normalized it. Oh, Jerry, nobody is perfect. All of us get one thing with the doors. Right? And because of the way society has made it look like, people have accepted that that's who they are. Is who I am. And I struggle with it because after I finish arguing with is who I am, I'm left with myself, my thoughts, my conscience. And it's not consistent. So outside I will look like I'm strong, or I've accepted this, or this is part of who I am. But inside, when I'm alone with my thoughts, I'm struggling. Right? I'm struggling because it doesn't look like this is what is meant to be. There's this thing that keeps telling you that this is not who you are. So from age 6 to age 16, I was bound by these crazy addictions, right? And it's later I understood that it was not the addiction holding me, it was me holding that addiction that made it look like it was a mountain that can't be moved. Right? And because I'm a Christian, there is this should I say expectation, or what's the word? You should be held in high regard. And for the past couple of years, our brothers and sisters have kind of explained away our humanity. And it now looks like, what? You too? You hold mic in church. Everywhere, the glory is everywhere. You are struggling with... They've explained away humanity, forgetting that you are a human. Right? That carries divinity. So even if there is a man of God, you forget that there is a man that you need to understand and figure out how to navigate. So we build a mirage of morals that does not exist. Only you, hello? Only you is fighting yourself. Right? Because of how biblical standard it shouldn't be. And it made us very unrelatable with people that we are meant to win over. So I struggled with this for a long time. I struggled with it and I became born again and continued it. So it did not change. While I was holding the mic in church, the night before I'm somewhere else. Right? After church, I'm somewhere else too. The entire week, I'm somewhere else. Sunday. So I was so scared holding the mic every time. Like, I felt like God would just play my tape on the projector. Rated 18, Bernard Franklin. Everything is showing. So I felt like I was very exposed anytime I climb and I'm singing in that sense. And, hi God. So I'm crying on stage. People think that it's anointing. It's not anointing. I'm scared for my life. That God will strike me and say, you? So, even in understanding God's fatherhood, I was corrected over time. That God is not mad at me. God never inspires fear to save. Never. He has never done it. God inspires love to redeem. That's his identity. So, even if I struggled with these things, he was always there convicting me of his love. But because I was so scared that I'm falling short, I didn't recognize it. Therefore, I continued. Because one thing with guilt here, it keeps you in cycles. Right? It keeps you in cycles. Mine was, the immorality was strong. Oh, Jesus. God, looking at it was too stressful, even thinking about it now. Week in, week out, you're inside. And it's like it's now your reality. Then it graduated to other things so other things started defining how I saw myself. I always saw myself unworthy before God. I always saw myself unworthy to even speak about some certain things. I didn't have the boldness to do this at all. It was foreign to me. Right? And then it started affecting other areas of my life. Confidence, because there's this idea of Christianity that our brothers helped to paint. Like, is somehow like a life of perfection. You're not expected to do some things. You're not expected to struggle in some things. How? It's true in a sense, but it's also untrue in a particular sense, because you did not change when you became born again, no, or when you gained consciousness of the love that God has for you, right? You have to grow in that consciousness to be able to look like it. And we are different processes. We are at different levels. But you must appreciate and trust your own process. So here I was, struggling with this thing called addiction, day in, day out. And I felt so alone, because I didn't know what to open up to. I didn't know how to even open up. I didn't know how to put my mouth and say, man of God, when I sing holy, holy, inside is not what I'm feeling, oh. Right? When I'm in places that I'm supposed to act a certain way, I'm trusting God that, please let thunder not fire me here, oh. Because if one thing, so I started living from that perspective, that I am my addictions, I am my mistakes. Eventually I started accepting it as a way of life. But somewhere deep down inside, I knew that something was wrong in what I had believed over time about myself. Then I started getting into spaces where brothers like me, they were even doing mighty things. Mighty things. We are struggling too. And when they opened up, it felt strange. I'm like, if you are doing this one, God loves me now. I never reach your own, no. But he's doing even mighty things than you. Right? And it's sad because the people that are struggling see us as unrelatable. We are Christians, but we are humans. Don't ever forget that. You have divinity, yes, but you're human. You will not always get it right. You will not always get it right. But God's love is there to always tell you, always bring to your consciousness that you are not your mistakes. You are not your experiences. You are not your best behavior. You are not your bad behavior. You are not your goodness. You are not your worst. You are who He says you are. That is the basis of your identity. So, addictions make you define yourself outside the context of Christ or how He sees you. So, you hear people saying that, Omo is who I am now, how it can be. I can't change it. You know, there's this like, okay, is my weakness. Is my. Who gave it to you, man? You learned it. The same way you can unlearn it. I'm not speaking as one that has figured it out. Some guy. If the way that they explain God to us is how He is, we are finished though. We are finished. But God's love does not condemn. It was in Him that I understood that anything that inspires fear is not Him. Because if the person that knows Him, that is Him embodied, came and walked this earth and showed a different side to God that everybody did not understand, they always wanted to find ways to kill Him. Whatever is not in Christ is not in God. So it made me confident, like God is not seeking to pour his wrath on me. He loved me even in the mistake. Christ did not die when I was born. He died before I was born. So when it feels like a taboo, it's heresy to say that God does not remember your mistakes. He doesn't. Now you they remember him. He does not, no matter how recent it is. When he sees you, he sees his son, and his son is perfect. That is my source of identity. In 2016, when I broke into this revelation, man, I saw the things started falling off, because it starts as desires that now produces that life. Then understand that I am loved by a perfect God. Started separating me from that thing. So my desires began to transform. What I was feeling like started changing towards something else. So I wasn't very because I used to be judgmental too as a Christian. Of course, when you're in some certain places, there's this vibe of perfection, even from the so-called leaders. They expect. Have you sat down for once to really, really ask yourself, what does God say or see about me? How does he see me? So the addictions didn't determine my mood, or whether I carry God today, I don't carry him tomorrow. I'm always with God. Whether I understand it or I don't understand it, there's always this consciousness that I'm not alone, even in the mess. So this is to tell you that maybe you're struggling with stuff that you're not proud of. Everyone has. See, it will shock you that your own, they learn. Right? But you see these guys do amazing things because they know that I am not these things. No matter how real it is to me, or how evident, or how recent it is. I will say this and I'll give the mic to the next person. You're not your mistakes. They do not define you. You're not your weaknesses. That is not your character. You're not your strengths. You learned them. You're not your past. You're not it. It was a process. You're not your good times. You're not your feelings. They rise and they fall. I'm feeling sad today, so you now define yourself as sad. You now help yourself and find sad music to help you enter deep inside the sadness. My mood has changed. No. You're not your moods. What God says about you and me is consistent. Even before you were born. What defines you is his love. His love has perfected you. When he sees you, he sees perfection. God is especially fond of you. He gave his life. What else? To show you that he loves you. And that is my confidence. That no matter how bad or good I think I am, it's not relevant to where he is. So all I do is to hear and enter that consciousness and express it. I did not create God's love. I discovered it. Therefore, I express it and I embody it, because that's my true definition of self. Thank you.
Excuse me, everyone. Brown skin girl, Her skin's just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I'll never trade you for anybody else. Sing brown skin girl. Her skin's just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I'll never trade you for anybody else. Sing brown skin girl. Your brown skin caramel flow. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Your brown skin, melanin. My eyes be and no other color is a good replace. I'm from a generation that says animals have rights. But when we talk about human rights, voices are but a few. We think killing animals is wrong, so we quit eating meat, but we kill human beings with the weapons of our lips. My generation thinks sex outside of marriage with a condom is safe sex, but don't realize that demons cannot be stopped by latex. We protect ourselves from the rain, but we do not wear seat belts while driving on the fast lane. Everybody wants clean air to breathe, less hotter days, more breeze, but nobody wants to plant trees in the communities. We cut down canopy trees and create machines that encourage global warming and throw dirt in the seas. Now tell me, ain't that ironic? We talk a lot about freedom, but sadly we're still slaves to the money. And they say we have the greatest access to information in all of civilization, but we are still oblivious of who we really are. Considered the most intelligent in modern history. It's funny how we let artificial intelligence do our most basic thinking. The people say suicide is not the answer. Then government goes to legalize abortion, pills and toxic potions. Now you see so many young ones dying of addictions. We are in the fight against corruption, but on the list of taxpayers, your name is not mentioned. My generation will make a change. This generation will make a change. My generation will make a change. This generation will make a change. Please clap if you enjoyed what you just heard. And clap a little harder if you would like to see me again. All right. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Isonia, and I'm here with my very good brother, Godwin Guitar. And we'll be playing. We have just limited time, just 2 minutes, and we're gone. Hopefully, we'll come back again. All right.
it's not really key to repeat myself again, because some of those things are hard to say. Have you? Then maybe we'll vibe. Ordinary people. John Legend. It's song hard there. Everybody's running away from this song. I don't know what to say for you guys. Okay. Come on, try. Oh, yeah. Let me try it, but that's good. Girl, I'm in love with you. This ain't the honeymoon. A fast infatuation phase. We're right in the thick of love. At times we love, sometimes hurt. I still put you first, and we'll make things work. But I think we should take it slow. We're ordinary people. We don't know which way to go, 'cause we ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh. This time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. Oh. Slow. Yeah. This time we'll take it slow. This ain't no movie, no fairy tale conclusion, y'all. It gets more confusing every day. Oh, sometimes in heaven sent, and we head back to hell again. We kiss and we make up on the way. I hang up, you call. We rise and we fall, and we feel like just walking away. Yeah. As our love advances, we take second chances. Love is not fantasy, I don't know the words. Oh, we should take it slow. We are ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. Oh, yeah. We're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh. This time we'll take it slow. Yeah. Take it slow. Yeah. Slow. This time we'll take it slow. Did you guys enjoy it? I know I messed up the lyrics. For those that are fans of John Legend, I'm sorry. I've not sang this song in a while. Okay. In a very long time. So, this last episode, I'll be speaking about my recent struggle. So I'm still struggling with it. I hope I'm okay. It's okay to be vulnerable here, right? Is this a safe space, or somebody's recording it to put me on Instablog? Can I vibe? Why people cold now? What's up? Hello. Shabi, this is my life in parts. Have you? So, there's been this struggle as concerning music for me, that I recently had to take a break from professional music for like 2 years because I was confused on what paths to go. There is this very, very thick line with secular and gospel. People always fight it. Right? And I was like, if I go with this secular, maybe money go deal. And gospel too. Alpha. What's going on there? It looks like everybody is wearing face masks. Everybody is putting on masks. They are not saying, because walking behind the scenes in the gospel scene, I saw a lot of things that shocked me. And I was like, oh, una two get struggle. And I the point fingers. I struggled with choosing whether secular or gospel. At this time, I need instrumental. Because what I'm about to say is deep and will shake tables. You know, there is this, don't listen to secular. Gospel is the one that is pure. Meanwhile, walking behind the scenes, people were on billboards, on TV, screaming things, but opposite of what they were portraying. It was new to me. I was confused. I said, oh boy, let me ask this, because I knew some secular people that were consistent in character. But these other ones felt very proud. Meanwhile, they are the ones that should be like this, like these other guys. And my first exposure was not gospel. I hated it. I hated gospel. I hated it. It felt boring. It felt like, God, it's too a cake. You know, I wasn't vibing with it. So I was constantly in a battle of secular, gospel. Which one has more impact? Which one is worthy to be listened to? Understanding that profane is not secular. It's not. Even the studio you're going to, the shirt you're wearing, definition of secular is not what we say it is. And coming out of that space, it was hard, right? That I can sing this song today. God has worked on my consciousness. Because seeing that these other guys have consistent character, that should be what we are portraying, and these other people that I should be in that space are something else. I had to ask myself some very real questions like, what do you yourself really want to do? It was not until recently that I began to see and understand life in a very certain way. So I just came out of this struggle. I'm still not there yet. So please forgive some things I will say. Right? But nobody sent us more draw line. Nobody. Because if it was in crisis time, they would tag him as blasphemous, as heretic. Because his vibe was always those that were misfits. Right? There was no time there, unless he's teaching. But his vibe is he's always with these guys. And the so-called righteous guys didn't understand it. He said, hey, you be son of God. You sure? He said, you be son of God. Where they vibe with these guys. And he explained to them what he came to do. It's a consciousness that you should do life from. Not from the place where you're judgmental. You are already drawing a line between you and those guys. Meanwhile, your life is not even figured out. Some of them are even more Christian than some of us. It does not make sense. How somebody will have such strong character, but it can't be like, say, in life, no, it's not what society has made Christianity to be. That the law that was commanded us was love. And we've allowed this thing called religion to separate us from those that we are called to save. So it was always a struggle for me. I took a break in 2017 from everything music to redefine my motives. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because I will see the likes of some people that it's obvious where they stand in their belief system, but they are in the system, but they are not swallowed by it. I don't want to call names, but some of us here work with them closely. Such an amazing, they are unashamed, but they are not the regular Christians in that sense. And it blew my mind, right? That the one you're condemning is the one you're called to save. But sometimes you might have to look like them. Sometimes you might have to go beyond the usual to reach out to them. Sometimes you're the one drawing the line in your head. Because if you don't have context in life, you'll be floating. Anywhere, you're fluid. Because these guys are not ashamed of what and how their belief system is and what they represent. But with me, I wasn't understanding it. So I decided to seek knowledge. I decided to ask questions, right? On what exactly is the definition of that thing called secular. I was having a very long conversation with Peaches one time. And we talked for how many hours? Like 3 of you. We were talking. How we ourselves have separated ourselves. Meanwhile, you're called to enter. Not to become, but to be in the midst. So, I was saying earlier that we've been so cultured out of our humanity that we are now looking strange. If I don't resonate with you, I will not listen to you. If I don't see that we share something, I will see you as outside. Speak about people that I called brothers and sisters. Until eventually they started entering that understanding that if God is worried about the things that you're worried about, this world will not end now. Since we are the one putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. God is not bothered. He's not moved. There's nothing that is shocking him. He's not worried about the tattoo on that person's neck the way you're worried about it. He's not worried about the fact that it looks like they are not in their calling. I started getting comfortable with people not being in the gospel sector the way it is, and also doing amazing things in their own sectors, but having a consistency of character and a base of conviction, which is the love of Christ. So it led me to have a mindset that I'm a creative. However, my context of consciousness is Christ. My context of doing life is through his eyes. My context of understanding how to deal with people is through his eyes. If you stay within that context, a lot of things you'll be shocked that I bothered myself a lot about things that were irrelevant. So I'm saying this evening that as much as you are in the system, as much as you're in that place where you might be confused, it's key to stay within the context that defines exactly what this life is. If you stay within that context, doing life becomes easy. You become less judgmental. You become less bothered about things that the so-called body of Christ is bothered about. God is not bothered about their piercings. He's not. He's not bothered about whether they are in the club today, they are in church, they're in the house. He's not bothered. He wants to expose to them his love. That's the base of their character. Are we together? Have I lost you guys? Have I lost you guys? Where is Amanda? How much time do I have? I've been begging Godwin to come and please, just something. Let me just hear you play for me, please. It will give me so much joy. Eh? Yeah. When you're on the strings, it helps me. 10 minutes. 10 minutes more. Jesus. 5 minutes more. Are you guys having a good time? Are you sure? Hope people are not judging me in your head. Just play anything. Anything you play, I'll flow. Away, 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 away. Ay, 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 ay. Chaptiri-pita-pa-ya, aptiri-pita-pa-ya, chaptiri-pita-pa-da-da-da. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Do not define yourself outside words. How do you see yourself today? The culture, they define you. Oh. People's opinions about you. They've been tell you, no, they cry too much. People think say you weak, yes. Them forget. Oh, oh, oh. Weakness is part of the journey. Because you will not always get it right. And it's okay. You know you will not always feel strong, and it's okay. I know you weren't sure of the next step to take as concerning your career, as concerning your relationships. It is okay to not have it all figured out, yeah. It's okay to ask for help when you feel weak. Oh, 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 oh. It's okay to ask for help when you feel weak. It's okay. It's okay. I know you hurt, but you are not your hurt, yes. You are not the experiences that made you doubt yourself. I know you made mistakes. It is okay that you are not sure of what to do next. I know you doubt yourself a lot because you let yourself down many times. Hey, I know you doubt yourself a lot because it be like say you are not sure of where you're going next. Your peers they buy car, your peers they do many things, amazing things. It can be like say you are stuck where you are. It's okay. It's okay. Stretch out your hands and ask for help When you need it most, ask for help. No one has it all figured out, oh yes. Stretch out your hands and ask for help. No, they try to life by your own mind and strength and your own understanding. It's okay, oh. Thank you so much. Right now, I want to make welcome the one and only Torpedo Pascal.
Good evening. My name is Torpedo Pascal. I'm a poet and I do spoken word. And I'll tell you a secret. For a long time, I had a gift and I had no idea what I could do with this gift. I knew that I could speak words, but I didn't know what to do with the gift. I went to my parents. I said, you guys gave birth to me. See my gift. They both laughed together. That's why I knew they were close. And said, don't worry, you are a child. Go and become a medical doctor like we. Forget this nonsense. It's childish. It's nothing. I believe them because they're my parents and I was 5 years old. 10 years later, I was 15. I was in secondary school. And my friends in school told me, this guy, you have a gift now. And I told them that I don't know now. But they now said, okay, why don't you do some things? And I did some things in school and I found out it was cool. Those guys made me a tool. They made me king of the rule. In fact, I was no longer the April Fool. I was now the guy to remember in December. It was a sweet November when I realized that I was more than I thought. So I went back home and with my parents I fought. Told them, you guys are from the devil. I don't care if you call me a rebel. Look at me now. They loud down like treble. Why not tell me, say, I'd be nothing now? They laughed again together. Said, you're a child. We've done this before. See your uncle over there. He has amounted to nothing more. Follow this thing. Become a doctor. Then you have something you can fall back on. When life hits you and you might take a wrong turn. Okay, we're not saying that you are not our son. We're not even saying that you cannot be gone. But I'm saying that in the long run, so that we'll know that you have won, become a doctor so that we'll know that even we have begun. And I said, it's true. Let me be a loyal son. So I kept it again. And I tried to become a doctor. 10 years later, I was 25. Medical school. The other doctors thought I was a jive. In our medical association, now me, the organized groove. They called me DJT. I wasn't a DJ. But I was the funkiest person they could see. So they, the fellow doctors, told me, this guy, you are gifted. I told them, I beg, move, man. I've done this thing. I've even shifted. They said, look, this guy, we are together in this medical school. But this thing where they do, the thing too cool. So I decided that I'm no longer going to be the fool. I'm no longer going to play it cool. I dropped out of medical school. What? When I got home, I was all alone. Even though my parents were at home. They switched it on me, gave me another dial tone. I became banished. I had to leave home. And that from 25 to like 31, I was disowned. I was no longer their son. But during that time, that's when I started to become. That's when I started to become. But then, poverty hit me like a hard sun. I knew nowhere to turn. I told them I was gifted. But they told me you are a stupid son. I couldn't even eat. I was shading myself from the Lagos heat. So I went back to my parents in abject defeat. I knelt down at their feet and told them, even in a tweet, that don't worry, that past life I don't delete. I'm ready to face this your doctorate heat. They said, no, you are too far from the wheat. You're almost like chaff, and you're almost like weed. There's no way you can succeed. You might as well go to hell. I told them I'll do well. I joined Airtel. And then I started doing communications. I became a big boy. I gathered all the big toys. I became a joy. My parents would say, that's our boy. But even in Celltel, those guys were telling me, this guy, you are a decoy. All the end of year parties, now me they host the Troy. Even they were telling me, this guy, you be boy. And then one day, I think I was 32. I said, enough of all this true. And I walked out of the office. And I said, I no do. Those guys says, you be fool. My parents again, that's not cool. The world said, you've broken the rule again. And they were like, get ready for the pain. But because I don't experience that pain before, and I was ready to attain the more, I said, man, make the pain, they come. I'm going to wait for the seaside shore. And it don't matter waiting and they talk for the call. Me, I know waiting day for my call. And I know what I've come here for. Not be to the crowd, not be the side, to the tall. And now I speak and I give it for a living. I tell them that's what I'm actually giving. And I live my life totally forgiven for the times I've spent on reliving. So some of you here sitting here today don't even know that you're supposed to be in the way. You might be trapped inside success, but you don't know that you're trapped inside the West. You're actually doing less than your best. You should rise to the crest. Do your best. Open your chest. Open the chest. Face the test. You're the best. Peace. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nice one. My name is Torpedo Mascal, and I'm a spoken word artist. It took me a long time to be able to say that. I did so many things, and I got to here. So thank you very much. We're about to do the poetry and spoken word bit of this, My Life in Parts. And that was just an opener. We have a few colleagues in the house who will do some things. But the most important person we're going to do something here today, now you. Not true. Now you. Not true. There is nothing in this life that is coincidence. There is nothing in this life that is coincidence. I know that because God is a God of incidents. God is a God of incidents. He today calculates. One day I asked him, God, why you suffer Abraham like that now? No, between me and you. Why you leave him like that? There were not many people in the world at that time now, so you can't say you were busy. So why do you leave that guy? Why did he have to be 99? Why did his wife have to have no shine? Why, God, why? And he laughed. The way he does, that panics me. Lad. When I came back to him, I was giving him what would happen at the beginning. See, he was going ahead to plan. When he finished planning, he came back and he told Abraham, you are there. Come outside. Look at the stars, count it. Then he turned away. Abraham was still trying to calculate. He said, okay. Look at the sand by the feet. Count that one. Abraham now laughed. God, you're obviously joking. He says, look, as the sands of the seaside be, as the stars be, now so your Peking go be. From today, your name is no longer Abraham, it's Abraham. And as at that time, he had nothing in the plan. Guess what? Abraham never saw all those stars. He never did. He only saw Isaac, the promise. But look at it today. He's the father of millions. He's the father of millions. So God is too intentional for you to think that he where they organize things. Now, imagine among 7.97 billion people on planet Earth, now only you get your fingerprints. Now only you get your own eyeball. Do you know it's only you that has your own smell? 9 of you can use one perfume and it will come out 8 different smells. Do you know that based on your DNA and what you eat? Do you know that? So do you think he took his time? Now it's not just 7.9 billion. No. It's 70 billion people that have died and passed away. Then they use and check their DNA. Nobody's made like you in your own way. So why did he do that? You think it's just for you to come and make pay? Or even slay? or kill Chidima's way. Let's not put that on the tray. All right, so you're special. There's a reason why you're here. It's not coincidence. Let me invite some of my friends to come and do poetry and spoken word. I'll ask you to please do something for us poets. When she's or he's doing their poetry, I'd like you to encourage them with words like deep, wisdom. You can snap your hands. And then if he enters you, you can just carry your hand and say, Yawa. It helps. For the rest of you in front, I'd like you to arrange your faces in one of deep interest. Arrange your faces in one of deep interest so that the poet will know that you are doing something. And finally, when they're coming in, please, a round of applause, a sincere round of applause.
Artist as well. The first piece I'm going to be performing is on Nigerian politics. So, here goes. Welcome to a world of motor. Times I begin to wonder, did Lord Lugard lose God when he did this marriage between the North and South? Nigerian democracy, like Siamese twins, although conjoined, are uncomfortable and under intense pressure. A country where freedom is sold and only the rich can buy. A country where people deceive people and with long brooms our problems are swept under the carpet. Dancing senators, clowning legislators, and those who promised us change spared us no single kobo. Minimum wage not enough to wedge our tummies, so we tuck it in. Civil servants are no longer civil. Hungry youth shouting, Aluta, Aluta, where the looter loots funds belonging to the masses. Yet, like Esau, many have sold their birthrights for a bag of rice. I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody. A clear case of when you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. However, the country is ours, and we as youths, we don't need to travel abroad for greener pastures. We need to take charge and take control. Thank you. Okay, so this one's a little subtle. I titled it My Lover's Lover. I'm sure that one or two people can relate to this piece. I'm just going to dive right into it. I fell in love with you, but I wasn't her. I made the moths become butterflies, but I wasn't her. I was your rebound on sad days and the days you didn't. With all my heart and soul, I love you, but I wasn't her. You say she'll change, even if I'm the change you want to see, but somehow you don't want to be with me just because I wasn't her. You tell me how I complete you like the missing piece to your puzzle, but leave me in squares and circles, puzzled, because I wasn't her. You're willing to let go of me, but not of her, because I just wasn't her. There's no more freeway because I'm lost in this love triangle. Not at the two connecting ends, but alone and in the middle, afraid and broken. Thank you. Do you want to hear one more? Okay. Okay. This one's a little subtle as well. There's no title, but I'm just going to dive right into it too. Let me tell you the things you did differently. Laughing with you used to come easy. Easy peasy like Sunday mornings. I used to feel like the sunshine in your world that shone brighter at your darkest times. It used to be easy to talk to you and just be myself. Not until being myself meant I thought with my head, probably not with my heart. Oh, I broke your heart. I'd give anything to take that back. You used to tell me how beautiful I was. You used to hold me even when I didn't want to be held. Caring about me used to be your favorite thing to do. At the time, spending time with me was all you craved. Some days not a day of the week, but some day not any specific day, I remind you of how much I loved you and how desperate I wanted you to love me just an inch back as much. We are different, yet our difference is exactly what makes us alike. Like how we saw eye to eye on ideas and people and food, well, except baby names. My heart always races anytime I think of how you'd eventually physically leave me because you're already not here with me. You turn a blind eye. I mean, the same eye that saw eye to eye. Guess I was the one that was blind. I still don't mind being blind. But take my eyes only, leave my heart, just where you met it. Or better still, make it better before you leave it. Because it's currently aching. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Please, another round of applause for Rashida. I love what Rashida does. You know, she does what a lot of us poets are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be speaking out in a creative way against government, against things going on. That's what we are here for now. Is it to be doing a poetry reality show and MC? That's what we've been restricted to now. MC. Poetry challenge, poetry show. We're supposed to speak out. Fela was a poet. Speak out in a creative way. The government that you're abusing won't even know because you've done it so creatively. Who saw that Chinamanda write-up? Even the girl they abused she was sweetened. You know when they're abusing it, sweet, you'll be like, oh, it's me there. Oh my God, I'm a centrified. Wait till be centrified. So we should speak out. You know, and that's why I love what Rashida is doing. I'm going to invite another friend of mine. He's been like a father to poetry in his own way. Please, a round of applause for Koku. Oh, why all this polite? Yeah.
Torpedo, thanks. Torpedo calls me a father to poetry. That's a load of bullshit. The first poem I wrote was in July during the lockdown 2020. And prior to that, I spent 60 years, yeah, I'm over 60, on Earth, and I'd never written a poem in my life. Okay, now there's been a lot of talk about God going on. I've got my own personal view. The first computer was made in heaven, whirring gently in the Garden of Eden. Of course, it was an apple, albeit with limited memory, just one bite. I'm going to rewind that. The first computer was made in heaven, whirring gently in the Garden of Eden. Of course, it was an apple, albeit with limited memory, just one bite. Along came she, full of curious intent, but naked, interestingly configured, and of wily deception, beckoning to he with legs akimbo. Curious and oblivious to the power therein, he came and took just one bite, and everything crashed, or so we are told. Now, what really happened or didn't is but a matter of opinion, vastly depending on your particular persuasion. He said, she said, comes to play. And so, what's the essence of this piece if he and she could not exist in peace and succumbed to temptation with relative ease when contained and confined in the midst of plenty? So what the hell do you expect to happen here on earth? Blame the architect, the engineer, the fabricator of this device. Blame him for building a device with just one bite. Come on, let's face it. Who does that? Well, I'm sorry, but I think he's very partial. And I don't really understand his ways. I'm not supposed to anyway, because I'm very little and he created me. But some of the things he does are a bit dodgy, in my humble opinion. And that's what I expressed there. then why would you set us up to fail in the first place? Which we did. Well, that's my opinion. Should I do one more or should I piss off? Okay. I need help. Peaches. Could you ask me that question that is very irritating? I find it irritating. That how was your night question.
How was your night? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. How was your night?
How the bloody hell does that concern you? I answer in my mind. A question so intrusive, lacking decorum. Why would anybody ask that? A hotel receptionist, perhaps, and that's about that.
How was your night?
What if I lay bare my mind and told you the truth? Would you take it as such? Or see it as a package of fabricated lies?
How was your night?
Okay, shut up and listen. My neighbor's wife, so nondescript. In public, unassuming, our eyes never meet. Him, a puritanical bore, clean-shaven, home by 7, asleep by 11. His sonorous hum becomes a full octave snore. Tap, tap, I know the drill. Unlatch the door, and she creeps in. Bang, wallop, woof. Job done, unlatch the door. She creeps out. She's freaking good, but not the best. When I want to twirl, to be put in a whirl, just give me her drop-dead, super soft, gorgeous house girl. Take it from me, as I turn out the light, more bang per buck, any day or night. When I did fall asleep, it was pitch black. Rapid eye movement crept up on me. Low muscle tone, I felt relaxed, totally unprepared for what lay ahead. Gremlins, warlocks, witches and more. Some riding tiny bison like Shokono, dragging me deeper into a murky abyss. Ọlọ́run bàbá Elédùmarè, ó ṣàlóbùà, Chineke me, Lajila, I cried. Pupils dilated to absorb the light. Not a wink did I sleep till dawn. So next time when asked, how was your night? Smile quizzically. Screw civility. Tell the truth, warts and all. Thank you.
Nice one. Please, another round of applause for Koku. I call him a father of poetry because he sponsors a group of poets called the CIA. You know, and for me, anyone that sponsors an area of poetry to go up is like an apostle. He's doing some, so he's a father to me. So that's why, and I'll continue to refer to him as that. When we started poetry, it was still strange in people's faces. Poetry that we know was Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, then those British Shakespeare. We didn't know poetry as... But meanwhile, poetry and spoken word started in Africa. That's how we communicated our traditions and our cultures from to the next. But when they came and, you know, emboldened us, you threw it away. But we all have spoken word, and honestly speaking, it's the most powerful gift we have. The spoken word is the most powerful gift we have. Because if you can speak, you can actually change situations. When God wanted to make the universe, he spoke it into creation. And since we are sons and children by relation, it means that even we have a bit of creation. And the best way for you to create is actually to speak. I'm telling you, when you are feeling very bad and you're feeling quite weak, just speak out your tongue. And I'm telling you, don't do it tongue in cheek. Be bold, be mature, open your chest. Don't be meek. Waiting to come out your voice at first, it go be small, like leak. But after you begin to speak, after you will see the change, unique. And everybody around you will say, that guy, they crazy, they be freak. But meanwhile, you're doing the reason why you came to tweak. Spoken word is the most important, strongest communication because you can use it to speak to God. And since God can do anything with a nod, so if you can speak to he that can nod, it means you have a bond to the rod. That's spoken word. Once I've said it, and I know you've heard. There was a time that creation surprised even God. Bang, bang. They came together and said they wanted to build from here to the heavens. And God came down and saw them and he was like, what? Very few times is God surprised. But he was surprised. He says, man is united and as one. And see what they've imagined to do. And this thing they can do, come together like this, they go do them. The reason why I know that they could have done it is because he had to stop them. And what did he do? He changed the language and how they speak. Bang, bang. He changed the language so they could no longer speak. It was Babel, it was Babylon, it was noise. And that's why human beings haven't, because if they come together, guess what happened? In 1960, mankind did it. They did it. They threw a stone from earth and it hit the heavens. Then they said, we can hit the heavens. Then they tied a man to the stone and they threw that stone and that stone landed on the moon. Bang, bang. And landed where? In the heavens. How did mankind enter the heavens? How did mankind enter the heavens? Man will not get wings. They entered the heavens on the moon. Planted a flag. Said, what's next? What's next? What's next? So we're more complex than just male and sex. We're more complex than tweets and text. We're complex than jobs and wife. We're more complex than cheating man and strife. We're more complex than politicians and presidents. We're more complex than those to take residence and run abroad every time there's a medical. For those of you, I went to Unica. Just because I don't want them to pick me up SS. But you see, they don't really understand the confess. They have to actually decipher, but the rest of you get the gist. So if they even hold me, I will say, didn't you say I was dancing? I was making jest. Nevertheless, we are not impressed. We the youth, we open our chests. We say we want more, not this less. Now they're borrowing money against tomorrow's Sonny. He says he wants to use it in relation. Imagine 9.84 billion of vaccination. Where then they give free for overseas. Then they give vaccination for battery. Do you know in New York that they use them to take win lottery? And here the guy wants to borrow money for vaccination. 984 billion in relation to the nation. To the amounts that might or might not even be infected. So they said to World Bank, this is the amount we need to have injected. But it's a phronomy, it's a fraud. And we can see right through it. It's fraud. And it's not even just for us and these people in the building. It's the fate of our children and their children's children. He's borrowing against tomorrow that he will not be there to share. He's borrowing against tomorrow, and it's those guys that will carry the base unaware that we that were young and refused to speak, we were sitting around in groups, tongue in cheek, making sure that life was just full of glitter and being bitter, making noise until the government even banished the Twitter. So what happens now? Does that mean we'll now sit at home and make everybody make them loud, carry a microphone? Thank you. All right, so the next person does spoken word in music. Yeah? I've said my fellow poets, don't let it be dry, add music. So ladies and gentlemen, to add music to spoken word, a round of applause for Mr. Nelly Carter. Oh, what's all this polite?
Can tell us, cause Jesus took me from a gutter to 100, looking all fresh like it's nothing. Jesus rose from the coffin. That is why I be living, I be chilling, I be living my life. It's a blessing. If you ain't got Christ, you bluffing. Still bluffing. So that can't tell me nothing. From the bottom to the top, I will not go ever stop. That's why we can't be fucked. Amen, amen. Driving through the hood in Mercedes. Amen, amen. I've been stunning all my enemies. Amen, amen. Hey, Baba God go bless this hustle. Amen, amen. I say, Baba God go bless my hustle. Cause that been for Christ. That been for Christ. Amen, amen. That been for Christ. Lord for you. Amen, amen. You go get new bouncing, baby. Amen, amen. You go get new job. Amen, amen. Hey. Brand new clothes. Brand new shoes. Amen, amen. Hey. Brand new Jews. Yes, everywhere you go shine. Thank you, guys. My name is Nell Carter.
All right, nice one. Please, another round of applause for Nelly Carter, spoken word in music. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. I love that. Play something, play something. Wait. Before you start playing, you guys, you've come to the end of this part of the program, poetry, spoken word. The rest will be music. Okay. Yeah. And we're trying to change the way events are even done in Nigeria. We're starting from ourselves. Gone are the days that you have an event that starts at 7 o'clock. And then at 10 past 9, one person comes on stage. Sorry, please. We're sorry. The event will soon start. Give us a little time. Like, be 1 hour. Okay, yeah, it will soon start. What? At 10 past 9, you're still telling me 1 hour. Why? Because I've paid. I'm now hostage to your timing. The reason why we do that is because in this part of town, we don't equate time and money. We don't. Yes. In Jan and in Yankee, you are paid by the hour. So you know the value of 1 hour's work in relation to the cash. So nobody's going to come in your day and say, I just stopped by to greet you for 20 minutes. You know how much that is in relation to your pay. And when you relate money and pay and time, people will wake up. So here they're not doing that. But we were doing it. So we said, and we're stopping in the next 8 minutes. And then music will carry on from there. A shout out to you guys. You've been amazing. No, let's do something. Let's do something. Let's do some music. Shh. I believe the first thing God created was music. Shh. Before man. I think so. I suspect so. Because he even had a choir. long before man. He had a head of choir. So some of those angels, their wings were for clapping and beating the drum. He had some strings. Play music, play music, play music. Something easy. Yeah. Easy. No, slow, easy. No, easy. Waking up in the music. Yeah, in the music. Waking up in the music. Waking up. Yes. The music. The first thing God created in life in this creation was God arranging himself in the musical situation. He said he loves the music. It gives him a lot of joy. When you play praises and worship, God enters into the foyer. Do you know that God dances? He loves it. When people, the music they sing. When the chords are simply playing and the violin brings the ring. God himself, he dances. He loves the songs, the strings. God is the one of the music. He brought the drums, the sings. Woo! 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 Before mankind came, before even Adam and Eve, God had his own musicians. To them, they used to live. They used to groove in heaven like 10 to 9. Those guys used to groove to music, and a lot of them tried to shine. Lucifer was Satan. He was head of the whole choir. He had the whole creation. He lifted them up to the mire. The pride entered his heart. He thought even he was on fire. Immediately the thought entered. Man, he fell down, said, "Sire." Woo! Yeah. Woo! Woo! So guess what? He knows the power of music, and he's still around here on earth. So he infiltrates even the music. He infiltrates your birth. So listen to the music you listen to, and listen to all of the words, because not every music is holy, and not every music has the chords, the words, even the strings, even the wings, even the blinks, even the strings, even the stings. They're all in the mix, and they're all in the wings, they're all in the sings, they're all in the music. Do not confuse it. He always will choose it, never abuse it, always to use it. Song in the music, sing it, you lose it, sing it, you lose it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Woo! These guys are amazing, for real. They bring the music, they bring the music, they bring the music, they bring the music, they bring the music. Eniola and G strings. Amanda, come and say a word.
I hope you had a wonderful time. So if you were here when Bernard started, we started like on 5 this time. We didn't like waste you guys' time. For you to make much more sense, you can check out our YouTube channel for the part of the story. So this was like a conclusion, but then part of the story is on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much. I think Bernard has gone. The reason why I called Bernard on was because when I was in my life in parts, I was so scared and I was a bit confused on how to go about it. And I think Bernard and I, we had spoken like few times, so it's not like we're even really close, but then I just needed someone to talk to at that point. And I was going through something and I just didn't know. I was like, I think at that point I was in such a mess. And then I don't know, someone just said I should call him. So I gave him a call because we chatted about something earlier on, and I gave him a call and he's like, "Why are you crying?" And then I told him everything, and then he called me on video and like, "No, I must see your face." And I'm just like, "What? Like, people don't see Amanda cry. How are you calling me and you're telling me that you must see my face?" And then like I was teared, like everything, it was really crazy. And I told him that I was going to do my life in parts, and then he encouraged me. He's like, "You know what, just use me to practice." And then I practiced speaking with him, and yeah, and then he shared some things, and I felt like this guy's story is just so amazing. I feel like he needs to share it with everyone. So that was how like I got to, I don't know, speak with Bernard. So thank you. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, so thank you, Peaches, for coming. She did a wonderful job. Seriously, I don't know if you guys met her performance, but it was amazing. You can rewatch it on our YouTube channel. And thank you, Godwin. Thank you so much for tonight. And thank you, Isonil. Amazing. You can still check out on our YouTube channel. And thank you to my team that always helps me out. So hopefully we'll see you guys soon for another My Life in Parts or something else. I don't know. And have an amazing night. Thank you.
But I can hear a word you said. I'm talking loud, not saying much. You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you said. I'm talking loud, not saying much. Criticize, but all your bullets ricochet. Shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, fire away. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am too tiny. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am too tiny. Cut me down, but it's you who have further to fall. Ghost town and hunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, fire away. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am too tiny. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am too tiny. Bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, fire away. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am too tiny.